Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to solve day 8 problem of this month on LeetCode. Before starting, if you guys haven't subscribed my YouTube channel yet, then please go ahead and subscribe it. Now, without any delay, let's get started with today's problem. So today I am going to solve problem number 1700, number of students unable to eat lunch. So this is an easy level problem. Okay, so let's read the problem statement first. So the school cafeteria offers circular and square sandwiches at lunch break. Okay, and effort to buy the numbers 0 and 1 respectively. Okay, so here 0 is nothing but the circular sandwiches and 1 is nothing but our rectangular square sandwiches. Okay, so 0 is our circular sandwiches and 1 is our square sandwiches. And all the students stand in a queue. Okay, so this is my queue, right? This is a queue and all the students stand in my queue. Okay, this is my queue. The number of sandwiches in the cafeteria is equal to the number of students. Okay, so here number of students is equal to the number of sandwiches, and the sandwiches are placed in a stack. Okay, so sandwiches are placed in a stack. Okay, so this is my stack, right? And if the number of sandwiches in the cafeteria is equal to number of students, number of sandwiches equal to number of students, and the sandwiches are placed in stack. Okay, if the student at the front of the queue prefers the sandwich on the top of the stack, they will take it and leave the queue. Okay, so this is my example 1. Okay, so here this is a my queue and our students are standing in the queue. So okay, this is the queue 1 1 0 and 0. Okay, and this tag is nothing but it's showing me the sandwiches. Okay, so sandwiches are like this 1 0 1 and 0. Okay, so now see, if the student at the front of queue, okay, this is my front of queue. Okay, if the student at my front of queue prefer the sandwich on the top of stack, this is a 0, right? And this is 1. Okay, so definitely my student 1, this student is not going to prefer this sandwich, this circular sandwich. Okay, so what is going to happen here? My student 1 will move to the end of queue. Okay, so he is going to move to the end of queue. So now my student 1 is going to move to the end of queue. Okay, so now this is my new queue, right? So otherwise they will leave it and go to the queue's end. So my student 1 reaches to the queue's end. Okay, this student. Then after that again I am going to check if this one queue's front is preferring the sandwich on the top of stack. So it is not preferring, so this one is also going to move to the end of queue. Okay, so now this one is also going to move to the queue's end. Okay, and then this 0 is going to prefer this 0. Okay, is going to prefer this one 0, right? This student is going to prefer this circular sandwich. Okay, so now I am going to remove both of them. Okay, they will take it. Okay, if the student at the front of queue prefers the sandwich on the top of the stack, they will take it and leave the queue. Okay, so now he is going to take this sandwich and also leave the queue. Okay, so now we are left with 3 students and their preferences and 1 stack. Okay, and in stack these are the sandwiches, right? Now after that this 0 and this 1 is there, right? So now this 0, okay, this student prefers circular sandwich, but what is in the top of my stack? It's a square sandwich. So definitely this student is going to the end of my queue, is going to move to the end of queue. Okay, so now this student 0 reaches at this particular position, and then this student prefers square sandwich. Okay, so this student is going to take this sandwich and leave the queue. Okay, that this is done. Then this student prefers circular sandwich, but in the top of stack we have circular sandwich. Okay, so what is going to happen here? This student 1 is going to move to the end of my stack. Okay, this student 1 is going to move to the end of my stack. Okay, this is done. Then after that, this student prefers a circular stack and circular sandwich, and in that my top of stack a circular sandwich is there. So this student is going to take the circular sandwich and going to leave. Okay, and then this student is going to prefer square sandwich, so he is going to take the square sandwich from top of stack and leave the queue. Okay, so in the end you guys will see there is no student left. Okay, so here read the problem statement after that. This continues until none of the queue students want to take the top sandwich and thus unable to eat. But here all the students eat their required sandwiches, right? So here we have to return the number of students that are unable to eat. So there are no students left in the queue, right? So that is why we are returning 0 here. So I hope that you guys are clear with this approach, right? But this is an easy level problem, but first I'm going to solve it using stacks and queue, because it is going to help you in solving questions related to stacks and queue. It will clear many doubts, right? But otherwise I can solve this problem directly using one simple approach, few lines, just 7 to 8 lines of code without using stacks and queue. But first let's solve it using this simulation, right? Whatever they are saying, we are going to perform the same steps using stack and queue, and let's try to solve the problem. Okay, so once this is done, then after that I'm going to show you the easy approach. Okay, since this is an easy level problem, so definitely we are going to use some easy way to solve this problem. Okay, but first let's try to solve it using stacks, okay, and queue. So first of all, find the length. Okay, so I can get the length of students array or sandwiches, that's it, because both are same, right? So I can write it like this: int n is equal to students dot length. Okay, and then I am going to take my stack, and in the stack there are integers, right? Integers. Okay, this is my stack. New stack. Okay, same way take queue of integer. Okay, new linked list. Okay, so here I am taking one stack and I am taking queue. Alright, now after that run one loop. Okay, and we are going to push all the students, these students. Okay, these students are standing in queue. Okay, so we are pushing the students in a queue, and these sandwiches we are pushing in a stack. Okay, so for that I am going to run one loop for int I is equal to 0, I is less than n, I plus plus, and then after that I have to push the sandwiches in a stack. Okay, so these are my sandwiches, right? These are the sandwiches. Okay, so here these are the sandwiches, right? So first of all I have to push this one, because we can only add the elements on the top of stack. Then I have to push this 0, then I have to push this 1, right? And then in the end I have to push 0. So something like this, my stack is going to look like that, right? So let's change this sandwiches array to my stack. So first of all we are going to push the last element in my stack. Okay, so that's the reason I am going to write like this: stack dot push. Okay, and my sandwiches that I'm going to push here, sandwiches, and what is the length of my array, n, minus my index I. In starting it is 0 only, so here I can write it like this, right? n minus 1 minus I. Okay, something like that. So here I am just pushing the last element first in my index, and in the same loop I am going to add the elements in my queue. So in queue we can add directly queue dot add my students. Okay, in the queue I am going to add my students of I. Okay, so this is done. Okay, So I have added the students in my queue, and I have added 1 1 0 0, and I have added the sandwiches in stack, sandwiches, and students in the queue. Okay, so this is done, right? Then after that I have to use one variable. Okay, int served last is equal to 0. Okay, so here see, this is example 2. Okay, so this is my example 2 here. Let me copy it here to explain. Okay, so this is my example 2 here, right? So here this is my students array, so I am going to add the students in my queue. 1 1 1 0 0 and 1. Okay, and sandwiches are in the stack, in my stack, so I am going to add them in my stack. 1, then 0, then again 0, then again 0, then 1, then 1. Okay, mistake, there is one mistake here. I am pushing the last element first, right? 1 1 0 0 0 and then 1. Okay, so this is my stack, right? Sandwiches. Okay, and these are the students queue, right? So here this one is going to leave, right? This one, this student prefers square sandwich, so it's going to take and leave. Okay, after that this student prefers what, our square sandwich, but in the top of stack it's a circular sandwich, so this student is going to move backward. Okay, move to the end of the queue, and same way this student is also going to move the back of the queue, right? So now let me erase it, because both of these students like square sandwich. Okay, so now this is how my queue looks like, right? Then after that this student is going to prefer circular sandwich, so it is going to take circular sandwich from top of stack and leave. Then this student is going to prefer a circular sandwich, so this student is going to take the circular sandwich and going to leave, right? Now see here, now I am using one variable served last. Okay, this served last I am using one variable, right? Okay, so here see, first of all see here, this student 1. Okay, this is my student 1, right? This is my student 1, this is my student. Okay, and this student prefers what, my square sandwich, but in the top of stack we have only what, circular sandwich. Okay, so this student is going to move backward. Okay, so I am writing in black color, so this student is going to move backward. Okay, now I am going to remove it, and here in the serve last I am writing count as 1. Okay, okay, so this student is moving to move backward, and here I am just taking the count how many students I am moving the backward. Okay, then this student is also going to move backward, because on the top of stack we have circular sandwich. Okay, then this student is also going to move backward. Okay, so I am moving it backward because in the top of my stack a circular sandwich is there. Now again I have to move, but this loop will continuously go on, right? Because there are no students in my queue left who like a circular sandwich. Okay, so this will continuously go on, right? So here every time for this I increase count as 1, for this I am increase count as 2, for this one I am increasing count as 3. Okay, so now this served last count is equal to my queue dot size. Okay, this was my initial queue. Okay, again and again I am getting these elements in my queue. So to end this I am going to keep track of this keep here, this is just going to tell me that you are again checking for the same number of students, for the same student, whether he likes circular or square. Okay, so I don't want to ask again to the same student, you have checked this. Okay, you have checked this, you have checked this, now again you go and check this. I don't want that. Okay, if this student check this, he goes to move backward. If this student check this, go to backward. If this student checks, go to move backward. This student already checked, so I don't want to ask him to go and check again. Okay, so that is why I have to end the loop. Okay, so here this is the purpose of served last. Okay, so I am going to write the code. Okay, so now you guys will get more clear idea. Okay, what is happening here. Okay, so I have to run one while loop, and in the while loop I am going to check if my queue is not empty. Okay, if my queue is not empty, and in the end condition I am going to check if the last served value, it should be less than my queue dot size. Okay, otherwise I have to just exit queue dot size. Okay, okay, so this is done. So I have to run one loop, this while loop. Okay, and in this loop I am going to check now all the base conditions. If the stack dot peak is equal to queue dot peak, okay, so I'm going to check everything. If stack dot peak is equal to queue dot peak, okay, then in that case okay, so let me format the code. Okay, if my stack dot peak is equal to queue dot peak, then I am going to just pop the elements from both stack dot pop. Okay, and in the queue we are going to use queue dot poll, right? Okay, I have removed the elements, and I am going to update this served last is equal to 0 only, because we didn't remove any element to the back. Okay, so I'm just saying that my served last is equal to 0. Okay, because I already served the student. Okay, and in the else part, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add the element to the end of queue, right? So queue dot add queue dot peak element, right? And from the front of queue I have to remove that element, so queue dot poll. Okay, and I have to make the count of this served last incremented, right? I have to increment the count served last plus plus, so that when it becomes just like in this example, if it becomes 3 and 3 is less than queue dot size, right? Queue dot size is 3, so 3 is less than 3, no, false, so I'm not going to execute this while loop, right? And in the end I have to just return queue dot size, right? Return queue dot size. Okay, because in the end we are only left out with these three elements, right? 1 1 1, and we don't need to execute again. Okay, so this is my queue dot size, and in the first case my queue was empty, right? So that is why I'm just returning queue dot size. Okay, so now let's run the code and see if there are any code issues. Okay, so here, see what's the mistake here. Queue integer queue is equal to new linked list. Okay, we have missed this equal to. So all the test cases has been accepted. Now let's submit the code. Okay, so see, our solution is accepted, and using this approach you can understand what we are doing in the problem. Okay, what we have to do. Okay, so here in the hint 1 you have to just simulate the given in the statement, so we did all these things step by step, whatever is mentioned there. Okay, but now since this is a easy problem, and definitely using stack and queue, it's not going to be easy for everyone, right? So what we are going to do, we are going to just solve it this problem using some easy technique, right? So here one of the way is this one. Okay, so here what I am doing here, uh, this is my students and sandwiches. Okay, so let's take this example now. Let's take this bigger example. Okay, I'm going to show you total 3 approaches. So this is the second approach. For this approach I have just copy paste the code, so you can just refer this code. Okay, here I'm just going to explain what I'm doing here. So first of all, I am calculating the length of my sandwiches. So what is the length of my sandwiches? 1 2 3 4 5 6. 6 is the length of my sandwiches. Then I am going to run, I'm taking one variable, count is equal to 0. Then I am running 2 loops. Okay, first of all I am going to pick this element, okay, this one. Okay, and then I am checking if this one is equal to this one. Okay, if this is a true condition, then I am changing this to 2. Okay, and I am incrementing the count, so now my count will become 1. Okay, then I am breaking. After that I am checking for this 0, and I am going to find this 0 here. So I have found this 0 here at this position. I am changing it to 2, and I am making the count, incrementing the count to 2. Okay, then I am going to check for this 0. I have found this 0 here. I am changing it to 2 and incrementing the count to 3. Okay, then after that I am going to search for this 0. Okay, so right now I'm not going to find any 0 here, right? So here I am checking if j is equal to n minus 1, that is this index, and at this particular index, if this 1 is not equal to 0 that I am searching for, okay, I am going to check one by one, and in the till the end, if I didn't find any 0, then I am just going to return n minus count. So what is my n? N is 6, my count is 3. 6 minus 3 is nothing but 3, and 3 is going to be my output, right? So I hope that this is clear to you guys. Okay, this is easy, right? Simple. But there is one more easy code, more easy than this. Okay, so I hope that this is clear. Now same way, let me explain example 1 as well. Okay, so this is my example 1, right? Okay, so here first I'm going to find the length of my sandwiches, that is nothing but 4. So first 0, I'm going to search for 0. So I found this 0 here, changing it to 2. 1, I have found 1 here, changing it to 2. I am finding this 0 here, and this 0 is here, so I am changing it to 2. 1 is here and 1 is here, I am changing it to 2. Okay, so count is 4 in this case, and total length is 4, and minus count is 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. Okay, so I hope you guys are clear. Okay, so see, it's very simple code, right? Just these 2 loops, right? But time complexity is going to be off and square because we are iterating again and again, right, over the same elements. So let me give you one more simple solution than this. Okay, so now let's understand this with the final approach that I am going to take to solve this problem, and this approach is going to be more easy than our previous approaches. Okay, so see here, so this is a students 1 and this is sandwiches, right? So what I am going to take, I am going to check here. I am going to check how many of my students like square sandwiches. So 2 students like square sandwiches. Okay, students who like square sandwiches are 2, and the number of students who like circular sandwiches. So students who like circular sandwiches are 2, right? So this is done. After that, I am going to iterate over this array, a sandwiches array, and I am going to check what is my first element. First element is circular sandwich. Okay, first is circular sandwich. If this is circular, and I have 2 students who like circular sandwich. Okay, since we actually this is our stack. Okay, and this is our queue, so all the students are going to take step by step. Okay, this student is going to check on the top, then this student is going to check on the top, and again if student doesn't like the sandwich which is on the top of stack, then he's going to move backward. So every student will get done to look for the top of the element. Okay, so we are just going to check now if the number of sandwiches. See here, this is 0, right? So I am going to decrement the count of this student of 0 to 1. Okay, so let's say this student who likes circular sandwich, he takes this sandwich. Okay, now after that I move to this one. So here I am going to decrement the count of this one. Then here this 0, so I am going to decrement the count of this 0, because this student's turn will come. Okay, definitely his turn will come one time, and he is just going to pick the circular sandwich. Okay, so now we are left with 0. Then after that 1, so this student 1 is going to pick the sandwich again. Okay, because there is a one student who is left with, who likes this square sandwich, so he is going to pick that. Okay, so once this is done, okay, so now in this case we have to just return 0, because there is no student empty, right? But let's understand this using this example. Okay, so tell me, what is the length? First of all, what is the length of students array? 1 2 3 4 5 6 n into 6. Okay, so now after that, tell me how many students like square sandwiches. 4, right? 1 2 3 4. And how many students like square sandwich, circular sandwiches? 2, right? This is done. Then after that, I am going to iterate over this my sandwiches array. Now don't focus on this one, just focus on this sandwiches array. Okay, so first of all, check for the first element. This is 1. Okay, and in my this is 1, and there is one student who, there are total 4 students who like square sandwiches, so definitely someone is going to pick, right? So definitely someone is going to pick this one. Okay, so I'm just going to decrement the count of these 3. Then 0 is 2. Okay, so definitely someone is going to pick this sandwich. And then this sandwich is circular shape, and there is one student who prefers circular sandwich. Okay, so someone is going to pick this. Okay, so this is done, this 0 is done, this 0 is done. Now we move to this 0, because this 0 is at of top of our stack right now. Okay, so right now my stack is looking like this. Okay, now there is no student left who likes circular sandwich, right? This student of 0 is 0, right? There is no student who likes circular sandwich. So in this case, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to return my n minus my I. Okay, so what is my n? N is 6. And what is my I? So I is at this index. Okay, 6 minus 3 is 3, right? And this 3 is going to be my output, right? So I hope that you guys are clear, because there are total 3 students left in my there are total 3 sandwiches left, right? So I hope that you guys are clear, and there are 3 students left. Okay, so let's write the code. So code is going to be very, very simple for this one. Okay, so let me revert back the changes. Okay, so first of all, let's calculate the length. N is equal to students dot length. Okay, this is done. Then take array, of size 2. Okay, take array of size 2. 0 is going to represent circular sandwiches, and 1 is going to represent what? Our square sandwiches, right? So now iterate over each element in my array, students array. Okay, now just increment the count. Okay, 0 and 1 count I am incrementing, right? So this is done. Then after that, just iterate over each element in my sandwich array. Int I is equal to 0, I less than n, and I plus plus. Then I am going to check if, okay, if array of sandwiches of I, okay, if this particular sandwich is there in my array. Okay, if the count is first of all I am checking if the count is equal to 0. If I am searching for this one, and if for this one the count of the number of students is 0. Okay, in that case I have to just return n minus I. Okay, that's what I have told you, return n minus I. And in the else part, I have to just return, this is my array of sandwiches, VICHS. Okay, I have to just decrement the count. Okay, so that simply means that my student have taken that array, so my sandwich is lost now. Okay, I have removed that, and just that's it. And in the end, just return 0 if we don't find anything. Okay, so now let's run it. So all the test cases has been accepted. Now let's submit it. So see, our solution is accepted and it beats 100% of users with Java, and runtime is also very good, just 0 millisecond. So see, this code is just of 16 lines. So I hope that you guys are able to understand today's problem, and if you guys still have any doubts, then please feel free to ask in comment section. Till then, keep coding and keep practicing. Meet you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you. Bye bye.